Hi, dear viewers. A very warm welcome to another session of Learning Excel with experts at EduLite in partnership with Let's Master. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's session. This is our fifth lesson in the series Yellow Belt for Beginners. And in today's session, we are going to learn about juggling with data. What we are going to cover in this session, we will talk about autofill, copying formulas, cell referencing, that is relative and absolute referencing. And finally, we will talk about filters. So without wasting any time, let's start and put our fingers to work. Autofill. Autofill is one of the Excel's very powerful feature, which helps us in automatically entering data if you are entering a predictable series. Let's see how. Here, I have already created a demo file to explain this features. So here you can see in this cell A1, I have entered 1, and in cell B2, I have entered 2. Now I want to fill rest of the numbers in this series. So what I will do is I will just select both the numbers and will take the mouse pointer to the right and bottom corner. And you can see here, as soon as the pointer of my mouse changes its shape to a plus sign, I will hold the left button of the mouse and start dragging. And here we go. The system has already entered the numbers basis the prediction that each number is increasing by 1. Here I have another example, 5 and 10. So here I'm basically telling the system or Excel that my numbers are increasing by 5. So again, I will select both the numbers, will take the cursor of the mouse or pointer of the mouse to the left and right and bottom corner. As soon as the shape of the pointer changes, I will start dragging. And here we go. The numbers are increasing by 5. Let me give you another example, say 3 and 6. Again, I have selected both the numbers and I'll start dragging it. So the numbers are increasing by 3. Here, I have entered the days of the week in short form, sun and month. As soon as I will start dragging it, up to Saturday, it has entered the data. But still, if I continue to drag it further, what it will do is it will start repeating the values because we have only 7 days in a week. Similarly, here I have entered the complete name. If I will drag, we will get the similar result. Here I have entered the names of the month. And here again, names of the month. So these are some of the very commonly used data series used by different users. So these are entered in the system or fed into the system by default. But what if you want to create your own data set or own data series? So what you will do is go to File, click on the options available as option, and then we will go to Advanced and we will keep on dragging till the time we reach this option, Edit Custom List. Here in this, as soon as you will select the custom list, this dialog box will open, and here you see this is custom list, and here you have list entries. So here we are going to create something like test1, test2, test3, test4, test5, test6, and we will click on add. So here now our this series is appearing here, and I will click on OK. And again here I will click on OK. Now let's see, is this series working for us or not? Test1, test2. Let's select both of them and start dragging. So there We have entered up to test 6, so it has filled the series. And if we will continue to drag it, again, it will repeat the values test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5, test 6, so on and so forth. So let me quickly tell you once again the step of adding your customized list. File, options, advance, drag it down and go to the option edit custom list. Click on this and here you can make the entries. So here we are going to make entries as couple of names. For example, Sanjay, Sanjay, Vijay, Ajay, Ram, Shyam, Mohan. And I'll click on add. Click OK, again click OK. Sanjay, Vijay, let's select it and start dragging it. So this custom autofill list helps where you have to enter the same data sets time and again, like name of your students, name of your employees, name of your classes, or something like that. After autofill, let's discuss about copying the formulas in Excel. We can write formula in one cell and can copy and paste or drag to other cells as the case may be. So let's see how we do this. So here we go to formula. So here I have created a small invoice kind of thing. Here I have name of the items, their rate, quantity. Now we need to calculate the amount. So to calculate the amount, what we will do is, remember in our previous session, we have discussed that any formula must start with the equals to sign. Equals to whatever the value is in cell B2 needs to be multiplied by the value in cell C2. And here we got our answer. Now we need to calculate the amount for drawing notebook. So the one option is, again, you enter the formula. Or the other option is I can simply copy this formula and paste it in rest of the cells. So here you see, here we have entered formula B3 multiplied by C3. But when we copied this formula and pasted here, Excel has changed the cell in the formula at its own. That is from B3 and C3 to B4 and C4. Here it has changed it to B5 and C5. Here it has changed to B6 and C6. So this is one way of copying the formulas. Now, let's go back and talk a little bit about referencing. So we will come back to sorting in a while. So referencing, cell referencing is the method by which you refer to a cell or a series of cells in a formula. And as we have discussed in our previous slide, we will talk about relative reference and absolute referencing. So let's talk about that. So here you see what happened as soon as, let me remove these formulas. Here I have entered a formula that is B2 multiplied by C2. And then I have copied this formula and pasted it. So the system has automatically changed the cells. So this is in Excel, this is known as relative referencing. That means as and when you're copying the formula, the system is changing the cell reference basis how many cells you have shifted upward or downward. Let me show you again. Let's copy this formula and now we are pasting it here. So now what happened? We have shifted the formula towards the column wise. So what it did is it has not changed the row number. Still it is C2 and D2, but what it did is it has changed the columns. And when I have pasted the formula in the rows, it has changed the row numbers. And when I have pasted the formula in the different column, it has changed the column, but it has not changed the row number. So this is known in Excel. This feature is known as relative referencing. So in relation to how you are copying and pasting the formula, the Excel is changing the reference, cell reference. That's why it is known as relative referencing. Now here, let's look at a formula where I am trying to write the table from 2 to 10. So what I need to do is I need to multiply this number by, I need to multiply this number by 2. And when I will copy and paste this formula, what answer should I be getting? Oops, this is wrong. Why? Because when I'm copying and pasting the formula, the Excel is changing the cell reference. So M2, which is 1, multiplied by 2. In the next cell, what it did was, it has multiplied 2 by 2. In the third cell, what it did, the system has multiplied 3 by 4. But ideally, I don't want this. What I want is all these numbers should be multiplied by this particular number. So what I will do is I will put $sign in front of M. So now the formula will change and the formula will become $sign M, $sign 2 multiplied by N, 1. And let's see how it will work. Will it give us the desired results? Oops. On all the cells, it has printed just 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. It means what? It is multiplying the value in cell M2 by the number. So everywhere it is just using the value of M2. This is not what I wanted my system to do. So what I will do is I will fix N2 by putting the $sign. Now let's see what will happen. Oops, still the result is same. So now what I need to do is I need to make sure that this number remains constant, but this number should keep on changing. So what I will do is I will remove the $sign from here. M2. That means I want to fix the column, not the rows. So now if I do this, what will happen? Yes. I got my table of true. So now what system is doing is it is multiplying the numbers in column M by the value in cell N1. So N1 is fixed, but with every successive row, the row number is changing. Now, if I copy the same formula and paste here, it will not work. So now what I need to do is, here I will make another change. That is, I will remove the $sign, which is in front of the column name, that is N. And now let's see what happens. Let me remove this, press enter. And now if I will copy this, what will happen? Yes, I got the result. Let's drag it and see. Yes. And now let's drag it and fill the series. So here what we have done is we have put the $signs to refer a particular cell, either to log the row, column, and here we have logged the row. So this is how we can do the referencing. And this type of referencing where we are referring to a particular cell or a particular row or a particular column, it is known as absolute referencing. Let me give you another example. Let's remove this. Now we need to calculate discount. And we are giving 20% discount. So in order to calculate this 20% discount, what we need to do is we need to multiply this 20 by the amount. So in the first place, we have got the value correct, but let's drag and see what happens. Oops, nothing. Because here in this, it is referring to cell number F2, which is blank. So if we know in mathematics, if we multiply anything by 0, the result will be 0. So we have not received any result here. So now in order to correct this formula, what we need to do is we know the value is in F1, which we need to multiply by all the amount. So what we will do is here we will press F4 to put a dollar sign. So now my formula has become $F $1 multiplied by D2. And if we will drag this formula, it has calculated the discount for all the amounts. So this is what is cell referencing and how we can copy the formula in Excel. Now let's talk about filters. So what is filter? If we talk about filters, filters is using power of Excel to select a specific data point from a list. So before we do a deep dive and learn about filters, let's talk about sorting. Here you see we have some numbers, some random numbers. So if you want to arrange these numbers in a proper sequence, say for example, ascending order, what we will do is we can select this, we will select this column. And I told you how to select the column by pressing Control space bar. Remember the shortcuts. And then we will go to the option menu data. And here we have got an option called sorting. So A to Z ascending. So you see the numbers here have got arranged in the ascending order. Select it. If you click on Z to A, that means the numbers will get arranged in descending order. Excel don't arrange the numbers only. It can work for alphabets as well. So here we have some alphabetic data, what we have selected. If we select A to Z, so the data has got arranged in ascending order. If we want to select, sort it in descending order, select. Now the data has got arranged in descending order. So this is what the sorting function is, where you can arrange the list of data points in ascending or descending order. Let's go back. This was our original data set. Now let's look at how to use the filters. As discussed here, filters is using the power of Excel to select a specific data point from the list. How we do that? First, we need to apply the filter. So in order to apply the filter on a particular column, select the column and click on this option, which is known as filter. In order to apply the filter, you can also use the shortcut key, that is Alt DFF. And once a box with an arrow pointing downward appears, that means filter has been applied to this particular column. Now, click on this and here you will see different options. Here, the system by default provides you the sorting option also. If you want to select a particular number, say 8. So there are two values in this particular data set, which is equal to the filter that we have applied. And now you can see the shape of this filter has changed and a funnel has started appearing. So whenever in any column, you can see a filter sign with a funnel, that means some filter has been applied or some filter is in use. If you want to remove it, click the filter option by open the filter option by clicking on the filter icon and click on select all, and your all the data sets will be displayed there. The other options that you can use is, if it's a number filter, these are the various other options like equals to, does not equals to, greater than or equals to. So say for example, we are using a filter greater than or equals to, and here let's enter a number 15. So whichever data point is 15 or greater than 15 will be displayed. Similarly, if we change this filter to less than or equal to, let's say again 16. So whichever data point is equals to or less than 16 in this series will get displayed. So this is how the filter function is used in Excel. If we talk about using the filter function on alphabetic data. So first of all, we will have to apply the filter, Alt DFF. Oops, what happened? Yeah, Alt DFF. So the filter is applied now. When we talk about here, we are working on alphabetic data. So you see here the filter options have changed. And if we apply filter here, so see here, when I have numeric data, it gives us the number filter. Here we have alphabetic data, it is giving us text filter. So the text filters are a little bit different. So equals to, does not equals to, begin with, end with, contains. So let's use the function filter contains. Contains, and here we enter a text that is SAFETY, safety, and press enter. So all those data points which has got word safety in them, we will that will get displayed here. Let's remove this function, and now we try contains manager. So all those data points which has got the word manager will get displayed. Similarly, if you want to just select one particular item, you can select one particular item and that will get displayed here. You can do multiple selections as well. So this is how the filter works. Now, again, the same question. Do you want to learn the shortcuts? Here are some of the shortcuts. To apply the filters, you can use a combination of Alt plus D plus F plus F. So first you will press the Alt key, and while holding the Alt key pressed, you will press D, then F and F. Let me show you. This is the sheet where we need to apply the filter. So I will select the column, then I will press Alt D F F, and the filter has applied. The second is to open the filter option. To open the filter option, what you will do is go to the top of the list, Alt and press down arrow key, and your filter options will be displayed. The second is to show all the items in the list. So suppose here we are applying a filter text that contains safety. So here some of the entries are missing. We are not able to see the entire list. So if we want to see the entire list, what we will do is Alt DFS. The entire list is available, or the entire list is visible. If you want to remove the filter, again Alt DFF. So here I want to remove the filter, Alt DFF, and the filter is gone. So that's pretty much from our side in this particular session. I know there were a couple of things which were a little bit tricky. Don't worry. In the description, you will find the Excel sheet with some exercise to practice these options, what we have just discussed. And if you have any questions or any feedback for us, please feel free to write to us at the rate service@edulite.com. Thank you very much for joining and hope to see you soon in the next session.